How's everybody doing this wonderful afternoon? Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you had a prosperous weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody pop on through. What's up, Richard? I see you, Rich. How y'all doing, family? We in here. I need everybody while you come on in, while you're coming in, everybody give this a nice retweet. While you're coming in, everybody give it a nice retweet to let everybody know that we're live right now. Before we get into the topic of the day, want to remind you guys we're having the Foundational Black American Reparations March/Rally, Washington, D.C., November 5th. This is going to be a historic rally. You do not want to miss it. Everybody from all over the country needs to start heading on out to D.C. by the 5th. Get all your travel plans ready. Let your voices be heard because we need to let our elected officials know that we want tangibles. Yes, they're going to be upset. Yes, you're going to see a lot of pushback. We are seeing a lot of pushback now. This is something that's unprecedented. Us on a large scale going to Washington, D.C. on one accord saying this is what we need. We need tangibles, and we're doing it on a large scale. We need everybody, all hands on deck, to be in Washington, D.C. November 5th. That's a Saturday. This is so very important. This is going to speak volumes. More details to come later this week, ladies and gentlemen. But November 5th is going to be popping. What's up, Lioness Crown? I see you, beloved. What's up, Nikki? I see you, beloved. I see you, Brother Wayne. But let's get into the topic, family. We're talking about out here in LA, there's a big scandal going on with the LA City Council. So they were having a meeting, and I talked about this last night on my broadcast. There was a woman named Nuri Martinez. You know, that was the main one they caught on tape. And the tape is about a year old. This is old. So this woman was making vile comments about black folks, where she said something to the effect of one of the prosecutors, F that guy because he's with the black folks. She was talking about a little black child, talking about how the child is a little monkey and the kid was acting up, and she would take the kid around the corner and lay hands on the kid and beat on the kid. It was real weird. These anti-black racists, they always have this thing about abusing black boys. These anti-black racists are very big on abusing, getting a black boy somewhere and just cornering them off and abusing them. They're real big on abusing little black boys. They're real big on that. Speaking of abusing black boys, let me get off the topic for 1 second. I'm digressing for a second. I saw a video from, I think, Plano, Texas at a Hooters. Some of y'all might have seen this video. There were some teenage boys getting into a fight with some white people at a Hooters. And they're trying to frame the fight as if these black kids got upset because they were told not to sell candy. They were selling candy. You know how black kids sell candy in front of stores. And I always feel for those children, and I always look out for them because I already know what danger they're in. I've talked about this many times. When I see black children, particularly young black boys, trying to get their little money up, selling candy bars in front of a grocery store or something, I know the kind of danger that kid is in because I know there's some creepy white supremacists who are just waiting to do something to him, and they know that the white supremacists will have the benefit of the doubt. So I almost go out of my way to look out for those kids. Sometimes I just buy out all of their candy for them so they can get off the block and be safe. But every time I see one of these kids, I always make sure that they're good. I try to get something from them and then give them a donation or a tip so that they can hurry up and get on from around these places. Because a lot of times they go in these neighborhoods, particularly white dominated or white Hispanic dominated, and when they see the dominant society, when they see a young black kid, they see a victim. And they know that they can call the police or do something to that kid, and they will, as people in the dominant society, will have the benefit of the doubt. We have to start looking out for these kids, man. We really have to do more to look out for these kids and not have them vulnerable. And So at this Hooters, they're framing this fight as if these kids were fighting over a candy bar. What it looks like they were selling candy, and some white dude came and took their money bucket and took their candy from them, and they started fighting for their money back. That's what it looks like. That's what it really looks like. And if that's the case, hats off to the black kids for standing up for themselves. But we have to start being in a position so that we don't have our kids out here taking these kind of risks on their own, knowing what's going on out here in the dominant society. We really got to start looking out for these kids. But I digress as far as that. So again, this Nuri Martinez lady on the LA City Council, she was up here calling this black kid a monkey and all of this stuff. So a lot of people in LA are outraged. They went to Nuri's house. They were protesting at her house, and there were some press conferences today in certain areas of LA. People are pretty upset about this, as people should. I'm upset about it. I live out here. That Nuri woman was a part of the LA Unified School District Board. She was a part of the school board at one point. I don't know if she still is. So that's problematic. I got black boys in school out here in the LA Unified School District area. So that's not good. And here's the thing. She was forced to basically step down from her position as president. She was the president of the LA City Council. So from what I understand, she just stepped down as president, but she's not out of being an LA City Council member, you see. So they're still trying to protect this woman to a certain degree. They're trying to run the Jedi mind trick. She needs to be out of there completely. And also, I don't know why people are trying to be quiet about the other two people who was in there cacan and kikiing with her when she was saying all of this racist stuff. That's Gil Sadilo and Kevin De Leon. All right, there's some other two people in there that was cacan and yakking it up with her. They need to be up out of here too. Remember those names: Gil Sadillo, I think that's his name, and Kevin De Leon. Those two guys need to be out too. Anybody who was in the room giggling with that woman, they need to be out, because we have to understand the ramifications of this, family. As y'all have seen, I've been talking about the vile anti-black racism coming from the white Hispanic community, particularly out here in Los Angeles. As you know, I've been talking about that for a while. I've been one of the only few people openly calling that out. A lot of these Negroes are cowardly and scared. I've been telling people for the longest, this racism coming from the white Hispanic community, it is off the meters. Y'all better stop pushing this black-brown coalition because it's a myth. So now you have a lot of black city council members. Brother Marquis down there in I think he's in the 8th district. That's where I was trying to get a building out there. I ended up getting it in the 10th district. They were calling out, Marquise was calling it out. I think Karen Bass kind of called it out. Some of these black city officials out here are now calling that racism out. But here's the thing, man. A lot of y'all city officials, y'all black city officials, you're going to have to take some of the responsibility, because many of you have been pushing that black-brown coalition to the point where you have relinquished the power of the black community in a political sense. This is the danger of pushing this one-sided coalition. You sit here and empower a whole different group, and once they get in this position of power, they start talking crazy. You better believe this is just one conversation that these people got caught having. Could you imagine some of the other stuff that these folks are saying? And look at the ramifications of how black people are living out here in LA. Understand, you have black people who work for the city. I had a person who works for the bus company out here talking about how black people are systematically skipped over for supervisory positions. They're skipped over for promotions in favor of these white Hispanics. These people, these racist ass people, get in these city council positions, and then they uplift the people in their community. They're not talking about no damn black and brown coalition. They're talking about consolidating their power. This is what these city council members were talking about too. On some parts of the tape, they were talking about having their own little Latino coalition. their own little empowerment group. They're talking about maintaining and solidifying their power while goofy Negroes are out here still talking about some damn black and brown coalition. How's that working now? How is that working now? This is what we get for y'all pushing this black-brown coalition. Y'all should have stopped pushing that. Let other groups fight for what they're going to fight for. We sit here and empower these people to turn around and crap on us. Well, we got so many black people out here unemployed in Los Angeles, so many black people out here homeless, black people trying to get commercial real estate, and we have to deal with these anti-black white Hispanics in these positions where they can grant us permits and other tangible resources, and we have to jump through so many hoops and hurdles like I had to do in order to get the museum out here. I had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops and hurdles dealing with these people. This black-brown coalition is one-sided. There is no coalition, family. And that's what it is. There's no coalition. It's one-sided. It's not reciprocal. And that's okay. We need to start looking at our empowerment as black people, particularly foundational black Americans. And here's the thing. A lot of the black folks who we see really pushing that, the black-brown coalition, we have to understand there's a lot of black people out here who are not FBA. They have some type of island lineage, and a lot of these island black people have more of a camaraderie with these white Latinos than they do with us. That's the long and short of it. Like I said, Los Angeles is full of Belizeans, black people who are Belizeans. They look just like me and you, but their ancestry is Belizean. I'm telling you about LA. If you talk to some of these people, you start getting their last names. They have these Spanish last names, and it's real weird to some people if you don't know. You're like, how this nigga got a, why is this nigga's last name Gonzalez? And he looks like Akon. Why is his last name Gonzalez? And you're like, well, damn, is he Dominican? You don't know. Most likely he's Belizean. LA is full of Belizeans. So a lot of people who are Belizean, a lot of people who come from these Central America areas or even the Caribbean, they look at themselves as a dark Hispanic. They look at themselves as dark Hispanics. So they're the main ones pushing that line. This is why the FBA movement was so important, because when it comes to representing foundational Black American interest, it's imperative that we have people from that lineage act as the representatives. And also people who have dual allegiances, we have to watch them very closely to see their track record of doing things for the FBA community. This is why lineage is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Lineage is very important. Just because somebody's melanated is thrown out there, that doesn't mean they represent you. Some of these white Hispanics are very melanated, and they'll use their melanin when it's politically feasible. They'll say, oh, no, I'm against those white racists too. Yeah, look at me. I'm a brown man who's a person of color. And in that person's mind, they're white. Then they get behind closed doors and we're all types of monkeys and mayatas and all types of stuff. That's the long and short of it. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but I'm saying this, what we saw, these are the head of the LA City Council, guys. These are the head people. This is the top brass, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people who dictate a lot of where the zoning is going to go, where a lot of the resources are going to go. These are the people who dictate where the tangibles go in this city. And this is how they're talking about Black people. And we see why Black people are suffering out here. You see? This is why we got to get real and stop the goofball nonsense when you see Black folks trying to make power moves so that we can create an economic base. We don't need agents and ops out here hating. I know agents have to have a job too, but we got to watch out for folks who are within our community on some hater, jealous BS, because we don't have that type of time. We got to be on top of our game because these people are waging war on us. You see? Let me get some calls from the family. Got a lot of folks in here. Let's get Dominique in here. What's up, Dominique? And then we'll get FBA Empress in here. What's up, Dominique? Hop on, brother.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind, Dominique?
Man, I just wanted to touch on that Plano situation, man. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, bro. And let me tell you something. even since I was a kid, bro, since I was 6 years old, bro, I would hear Hispanics all the time just say some crazy shit to me and my mom, me and my family, and they would just be on some weird shit. Like in high school, elementary school, middle school, I've heard it. I've heard all the racist stuff that they say, bro. And I finally asked somebody who I was actually cool with that was Hispanic, and they were like, "Yeah, bro, we do be on some racist shit." And they were telling me all the words, and one of them was like "negrita," like it's just some crazy shit, bro. And then
Yeah,
even when you travel abroad to like the Spanish speaking countries, you hear it there too. So
yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, man. They're bringing that racism from South America here. They practice that same racism on the black people there. Remember, and this is the thing. Many, not many, hell, all, not many. I was about to say many, hell, all, with a capital A. All of those South and Central American countries of Hispanic origin, all of these places were African satellites. They were slave colonies, every single one of them. So there were black people there, and there are black people there. Argentina has a minimal number because they did some ethnic cleansing to get the black people out of Argentina. But all of those other places down there, there's a big population of black people who are marginalized down there. We got to understand that. Let's get FBA Empress. Hop on.
Good evening, Flex. How are you? Peace
Um,
to the family.
thank you, beloved. What's going on with you?
So I just wanted to say, like, you're pointing out the fact that this is in LA. I know you got like Mexicans out there. I know in New York, it's like a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominican. I'm in DC, and we have a lot of like El Salvadorans and Guatemalans. I just want to say this: the Black and Brown Coalition is absolutely a myth. These people will fight amongst each other and discriminate against each other, but when it comes to us, they all team up and they all have anti-Black racism.
Yes, indeed. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Family, this is why, man, family, when we go to DC, this is why we got to have all hands on deck. We have to have a unified front on the grassroots to say, hey, listen, we ain't doing no coalitions right now. This is all about black people, man. Let's stop being afraid to say that. Let's stop being afraid to say, hey, look, we as foundational black Americans, we need tangibles. We need a hate crime bill. We need to have a mechanism to punish race soldiers for us. If you harm us, we're talking about foundational black Americans, not minority, not people of color. We play that game and then they'll say, yeah, we got a hate crime bill for people of color, Asians. So yeah, we granted your wish, black people. We gave a hate crime bill for people of color, which are Asians. So you can't get mad because we gave you what you wanted. We got to be very, very specific. We need a hate crime bill. In addition to our cash payments for reparations, we also need that hate crime bill for foundational black Americans because we have this type of hatred coming from the top brass of political leaders. Let's get our brother Marcel Dixon on, who's going to be a part of the November 5th reparations march in Washington, D.C. And I promise we're going to get our brother Marcel elected. The next election my brother gets in, because see, I got a lot of time now. See, last time when Marcel was running, I didn't get the time to get out there. We're going to make sure our brother is going to be elected for something out there. What's up, brother Marcel?
Hey Tariq, I just wanted to really say I put the volunteer form because a lot of people have been asking how they can volunteer. So if it's okay with you, I just want to announce to people that I put the volunteer form in the Jumbotron and they can sign up there. And I just want to say, yeah, this black and brown thing has always been a myth. I know you've been throughout Latin America. I've been throughout Latin America. My grandfather, he was not my biological grandfather. My biological grandfather, my mother's father, died from a heroin overdose that this
Mm.
government imported in Manhattan. But my grandmother met a Puerto Rican man who I consider my grandfather named Chama. He was a black Puerto Rican. He used to tell us all types of horrific stories about how he was treated growing up because he was darker skinned and looked blacker than his siblings. So it's not new. It's always been a myth. That's why I always railed against it because I grew up hearing his stories. I just want to land there.
Much respect to you, brother. Thank you so much. And listen, fam, we do need some more volunteers to help us out to get prepared for November 5th. If you guys can reach out to brother Marcel. Also, we need to start having some meetings with the team, Jade and all these guys. We need to start chopping it up because we need to get some street teams popping, especially out there in DC. And we get all this stuff together. For right now, the people that we're going to get speaking, we got Marcel, we got Riza, Sister Teslin, Jade, Sister Mayat, she wants to be down. I want to get Brother Boyce. I want to get Phil Scott. Y'all throw some more names at me who we should get. Me, I'm going to be involved. Let me know some other names of some people who you think, because there's so many people that I can think of and my mind slips me sometimes. But y'all can throw some more names out there for me. That would be great. Just Steve, what's up, dear?
Thank you. And thanks to this room. It's so timely. I was just in a room regarding Sheila Jackson Lee's opponent, and her name was Carmen. And I just think it's so messed up that we have to choose between an immigrant who is clearly not from here. Like, she has all sorts of accents. She's not from here. She's a person who does not identify with our struggle at all. But the other people that are running against Sheila Jackson Lee are not for us either. It's a white guy, Phil Kurtz, and then another black person, Vince Duncan. But he has no, he's not talking for us either. And we know that Sheila Jackson Lee's not talking for us. But
Yeah.
with regards to that specific, I guess, seat, the immigrants come over and then they vote against their interests. So I don't know. Maybe that's the move. I say no tangibles, no vote. I don't live there either. So, they stay home. But is that a tangible if the immigrants are coming over and saying close the borders? Is that a tangible for us?
No, because I don't want a secondary tangible. We can get the same tangible just by not voting at all. You understand? So my thing is we have to strike. Just like most strikes work, ladies and gentlemen. When you don't participate in something and you let it grind to a halt, then the people who are running the mechanism will come to you saying, hey, okay, what do I need to do to get this treadmill back going? A strike vote or no vote, having a strike against the vote, that's a very strategic move. And don't let people scare you with the Republican boogeyman narrative, because we're going to get a boogeyman anyway. The name of the game is for us to not participate in this stuff. And when you have a group that's in limbo, any politician can kind of pop up through the ranks and say, hey, you know what? Let me get in this political arena. Let me run as an independent. I got this whole voting block right here. Who's down? Let me get into this game. So that leaves the field open. And they don't like leaving the field open like that. They don't want to leave the door open like that. When you have this stagnant voting block who's looking for something in particular, and one party can't control their moves and their desires. See, they can't control what we want. They're trying to. They're trying to use all of this trick bag language, and we're just not going for it no more. We're not going for all of the, well, we're going to give some student loan relief. We're not, no. We're going to let people go because of weed. No. Well, we're going to have some more Latina women come over for y'all niggas. No, that ain't it either. Well, we're going to have catfish nuggets. No, that ain't it either. We're going to have to get some tangibles. We're going to have to get some reparations specifically for us. Well, what about the Native Americans? They owe us too. There's the Treaty of 1866 that shows that they owe some of the freemen some of those tangibles that they've been getting for the last 100 years. So they owe too. Don't ever let them slip in the whole Native American thing. The Native American tribes, many of them owe us too, because we were enslaved by them as well. Yes, bring them on here so we can start getting them to smoke the peace pipe and then write the check to us. Let's get Ralphie. Hop on, Ralphie. Ralphie?
Can you hear me? I don't want my mic to be all janky.
There you go. I can hear you, Ralphie. Where you from, man?
I'm from East Los Angeles, but my lineage comes from Arizona, Apache, and from my father's side, it's, I believe, Creole from the Creeks.
Okay. So you're part of the Apache from Arizona?
Yeah, but my family rocks with the Pascual Yaqui tribe.
Okay. And that was in California, right?
Well, yeah, a lot of us relocated to California, Southern California, and yeah, we're pretty new to the system too. Our lands didn't get statehood until 1912, and that's the same year as my tata was born. So we're kind of new into this, this system. So we don't know where we fall into it.
Okay, now is your last name Puella? Was that your last name?
No, actually, I have like three last names because I come from like a matriarch. So my first last name is like a French one, I believe. It's Collier or Collier.
Yeah.
And now it's Sanchez, but it was Gonzalez before that.
Oh, okay.
But
So
when
how
you come from a matriarch, those last names they change often, but that don't mean shit to us.
now are you a card carrying member of a Native American tribe?
Um, my family members are, but we aren't.
Yeah,
We're
you
still
can't be.
like,
Yeah, with the name Sanchez, no, because especially here, because that's South
well,
America. Yeah.
because that name came from my cousin who adopted me from my tia, and I just inherited that last name. It's not really my last name.
Oh, okay. Because there's a lot of people from Mexico will come up here and start claiming indigenous, and your name is
Yeah,
Gonzalez or
no,
Ramirez. Like, no,
we're very aware of that actually, and
yeah,
a lot of people that take advantage of that are people, that are not relatives of ours in those regions. They
right. You
just
have a
know
bunch
the
of
system.
Hispanic $5 Indians who
Yes,
pretend to be, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly, but brown people, I mean my people, we have so-called black people too
yeah.
within our lineage, and so it's like we never seen it in the same way that a lot of people see it. You know what I mean? Like the I don't know, we're just new to the system, so it's like we're indigenous, and happy Indigenous Day to all of you guys and all our
There,
relatives.
there you go. All right, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Like,
Let me get Pink Dot. Pink Dot, hop on, dear. Pink Dot, where you at, ma'am? Are you ready, Pink Dot? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's get while waiting on Pink Dot, let's get BC in here. Let's get BC. Hop on, BC.
Oh, what's the deal? How you doing?
What's up, BC? What part of LA you from, man?
Y'all from Pomona.
There you go. Out there, sugar free. What's going on
Yeah,
with you?
west side. Hell
No doubt, no doubt.
yeah.
What's the word, man? What's going on with you?
Shit, I had to tap in because I heard you talking about the reparation thing. I don't know if you're familiar with me, but I'm the dude who got the whole thing jumped off with American Cholo. Why he did that whole campaign. I was the first one to interview him. So after that, then no jumper put him on and shit. But I never got to hear your side of that story. You feel me? So I had to tap in and see what was going on. But happy Indigenous Day. You feel me? I'm I'm Black Arab. You feel me? So that's
You black and Arab?
yeah. But I'm Black Arab. I'm a Black Arab. So
Okay, who's where's your family from?
Saudi Arabia, Saudi
Oh, okay.
Arabia, and what is it called? Sudan.
Oh, okay. So your dad is from Sudan and your mom is from Saudi Arabia?
No, like my dad is from Saudi Arabia, but they originated from Sudan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So he's a Sudanese who just moved to Saudi Arabia.
yeah. That no, they still.
So you're Sudanese then,
I'm
basically.
Sudanese
You're
and Arab.
Sudanese.
Yeah, a Black Arab. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. So you're Sudanese who practices Islam, basically.
No, it's weird.
You
It's
don't
like
practice
my
Islam.
grandfather is from Saudi Arabia, and then my grandmother is from uh Sudan, but they're Black Arabs. You feel me?
Right.
Like a lot of people don't know that we exist, but there's like a whole side of like every other culture. There's Black of each culture. You feel me?
But the thing is, Arab is kind of a loose term. It's kind of an all encompassing term.
Mm-hmm.
Arab, yeah, Arab is kind of a term that basically means a person somewhere close to the Middle East who practices Islam. You dig?
Yeah, I feel
Because
that.
what defines a person as an Arab? When you think of Arab, you think of a white, light skinned person.
That's the thing I don't like though, because that's not
Right,
there's like a whole like majority of East Africa or you feel me are Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
them that but they're black. You feel me? A lot of people don't associate a person of my complexion with an afro to be an Arab. You feel me? Even though I'm not Muslim, but I'm still from the Middle East. You feel me? So it's like
yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there for the people who don't know about that we exist. We exist.
There you go, my man. All right, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah. See, some of those terms, they throw those terms out there. Um, you know, Arab is an all-encompassing term. Basically meaning people who originated from the Arabian Peninsula or the neighboring territories. So you have a lot of black people out there who actually identify with being Arab because Arab gives the connotation of you being whiter. You know what I'm saying? This is why they try to say the Moors were really Arabs, but they were black people. They were black. The Moors were black in medieval times, but modern historians will say, well, they were Arab. Well, Arab is an all-encompassing term. You see, watch out for that word Arab. It's a very tricky word. Pink Dot, are you here, dear? Pink Dot, you want to get on? I'm going to take you off if you're not getting on. Pink Dot, well, let me get you out of here. I don't know what you got on for. Let me remove you because we got a lot of folks who want to chop it up. All right, let's get raise your hand. Let's get the Hard Black Truth in here. What's up, the Hard Black Truth? What's going on, Hard Black Truth? What's going on with your player? How you doing, man?
Black first to you, man. Yo, that whole thing out there in California, man. Shout out to the people that been putting pressure on them. They foul.
Yes.
They out of line. And the whole crazy thing is you got a bunch of Hispanics arguing with each other over two gay white males that got themselves a black child to adopt to use as a prop, basically. But that whole shit is scandalous, and the black folks need to stand up, and I'm glad that they're doing so. That's all I wanted to say, man. And shout out to you. I'm gonna make my way out to the I'm gonna make my way out there to
Rally?
DC.
No doubt, man. November 5th. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. This is why codification is very important, and we have to prioritize Black issues, particularly foundational Black American issues. We gotta stop being scared. This is the result. This scandal that's happening in LA. We've sat here and black and browned ourselves out of power. We're sitting here mindlessly pushing a damn one-sided agenda, and the people are turning around after we done put them in power. They're turning around using the laws and the civil rights edicts that we sat here and fought for, pushing this one-sided minority coalition, and they're turning around talking about our children are monkeys. Come on, Black folks. Lottie, hop on, Lottie.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you, Mr. Lottie?
Hey, man, longtime supporter. Done seen every movie, done seen the growth from Mac Lessons up to now. I'm giving you nothing but praise and power. And I'm trying to get that scratch together to get to DC and support you, man. Much
And,
love. We built this country and we don't get no check.
yep.
Come on, man. It's just that simple. I'm going to land there, bro.
Much
Much
respect, brother.
respect to you, B.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. It's this scared talk, man. Enough of that. For some reason, Black folks have had this thing where we've been scared to say, "Hey, we need something for us," because we felt like we're going to offend people, and we're not going to have no allies, and people are going to abandon us. Well, damn it, they're doing that already. They're doing that already when we support them. We have nothing to lose by focusing on our own agenda. We have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. I want Black folks to get that ingrained into your head. We don't have anything to lose by looking out for our foundational Black American lineage. And then by proxy, some of the non-FBA brothers and sisters who's on code. If you are a non-FBA brother or sister who's on code, we rock with you too. You can be a good ally and an asset if you are on code, not just because you're there. Because, see, that's the problem. We've been letting these folks over who they look like us, and we think that they're down because they look like us. They view white supremacy the same way we do, and they don't. And these are some of the main people who push that black and brown damn coalition because they more so identify with the brown people than they do foundational Black Americans, and that's been a problem. Let's get Wakil. Wakil, put your microphone on, man.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, man. How you doing, brother?
All right. Yo, one, I want to appreciate FBA movement. You installed a lot of pride in me as an FBA person and brother. Another thing too, I want to say about, I was talking to somebody at work today and they brought up the voting aspect and they wanted us to vote just for no reason. And I brought up the aspect of bringing down, being able not to bring down the
what happened, brother? Where you at? I don't know what happened to you, brother. You got quiet. I don't know what happened, brother. Let's get Juan. Let's get Juan in here. Juan, turn your microphone on, brother.
Oh, hey, what's going on? What's going on, brother Tariq? B1 all day, man. This is FBA Minnesota holding it down strong out here, man. Epicenter George Floyd. You know, we holding it down real tight. But you know what I've been putting on Facebook, Tariq, is that, you know, the CBC been around since 1971.
Yeah.
And 51 years. What have they done for black people?
Not a damn thing. The Congressional Black Caucus is completely useless, and they know they are. Roland and these people know they're completely useless. Their job is to act as buffers for the white supremacist power structure in the political arena, to act as buffers to get us fooled and tricked to vote for the white power structure who's not going to do anything for us, while they themselves get all types of benefits and tangibles just for their little groups. And that nonsense is going to have to stop too. That's why we always see Roland trying to, and his ilk, not just Roland, it's a whole bunch of those Boule class who sit around and try to shame us. They always attacking me. And they've gotten their marching orders from the white brass at the DNC to attack me and other influencers and to try to shame you by calling y'all dumb for not voting for these people. Y'all stupid. Y'all just sound like Republicans. So we ain't going for that game either. Ashandi, what are you eating on, sir? What's happening?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sitting up here chewing on some shit. I thought my shit was off.
No, you here, brother. Is it good, brother? What are you eating, sir?
I don't need some teriyaki.
Brother got some damn pig feet. This brother eating some pig feet and some pinto beans. It's like you eating a big plate of soul food. What's going on?
Yeah, no, brother. I'm just sitting back listening to the game, man. Go on and give it to me, baby. It's raw and uncut, and I like it that way.
There you go, my man. My man must have one of them neck bones fell down on the phone and hit the thing and made it seem like he wanted to talk. Okay, brother, enjoy those greens, brother. And shout out to his lady. She sounded like she went in the kitchen and cooked that brother up a decent meal. Shout out to his lady. That nigga was enjoying that. Sound like he was at the Clyburn fish fry. All right, come on. Look at Wisdom. I see you, Wisdom. Hop on here, Wisdom. Hop on here, Miss Wisdom. Hop on, let's see what's on your mind, ma'am. I see you down there, Juicy Genius. I see D Tubman. I see Brother Dwan B down there. I see all the family down there. What's up, Wisdom? Where you at, dear? You ready to chop it up? What we doing? Oh, Wisdom. Are you eating some neck bones too? All right. All right, Wisdom. Come on, dear. While we're waiting on Wisdom, because this is dinner time, let's get some other people in here while we wait on these folks. Y'all don't get on if you're not ready to get on. All right. Don't hit that button. Let's get Khalik, Brother Khalik in here. Let's get Brother Khalik. Brother Khalik. Where's Khalik? Turn your microphone on.
I'm here.
Khalik.
I'm here.
How you doing? What's up, Khalik? Where you from, Khalik?
I'm in Ohio right now. Assalamu alaikum.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Walaikum salam. Yes, sir. I can hear you. What's on your mind?
Okay, in regards to the Hispanic thing, man, I think it's very messed up because if you go back even throughout slavery and stuff, and like when some of the people that they thought were dead, they were cast off the ships and they made it to the islands and stuff, they taught them a lot of the African culture, especially Yoruba culture. Where do you think they got Santeria from? Santeria is a Yoruba practice. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, so I mean, they all got this in their house. All the Cubans, when I lived in Miami, all the Cubans was practicing in it and all of that. Come back up north to Ohio, you got all these Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and all that practicing it. Then you got the Latin Kings, that's a gang. They gang leader, that one that advanced them into the modern age, King Blood, was a black man. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, how y'all gonna hate us when you got all our African culture and you got some that look just like us that's dark, and then your gang leader was a black man, King Blood, that brought you into the new modern day age and whatnot. So how you gonna hate what you learned from? That's what I don't understand about this, man. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm enjoying your program and everything. This is my first time tuning in to you, but I'm enjoying it, man. You're giving me a lot of useful information, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to break off with that.
I appreciate you, brother. But my man, he hit on some real good points. A lot of Yoruba culture is in Hispanic culture. A lot of Black culture is in that culture down there. That's the thing that has codified a lot of the culture there. So much of it. I'm talking about all over Central and South America, and even in those islands, those Hispanic islands. But even in Mexico, people forget about so many of the Black influences down there, as far as the music, the mariachi music that comes from African culture. Menudo and all of those food dishes, that comes from the African culture, the Black people who were down there. Even the Spanish rice, I've talked about this many times. Why does Spanish rice look the way that it looks? That's not what rice looks like in Spain. I've been to Spain. The rice doesn't look like that. And rice is not indigenous to the Americas. So what the hell is Spanish rice? Spanish rice is African jollof. That's all it is, rice with tomatoes. The Black people brought that over. The fandango dances and celebrations, that comes from Black culture. So much of Black culture is ingrained down there for them to have this contempt for the Black people. It's a very interesting dynamic. Let's get Ikiana.
Ikioma.
Ikiona?
Yeah.
Ikioma.
Yes.
Where you from with that name? Where's that from? Kenya?
No, that is Igbo. It is Igbo. But I am Foundation Black American. But I know my ancestral heritage. It's a lot of Igbo who came through Virginia.
Yes, indeed.
So it's a lot of us. So I'm descendants of from some of those.
Oh, cool.
There. So yeah, that's where the name come from. So, but yes, collard greens and cornbread all day over here, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
With that being said, I just, just trying to understand the psyche. I'm just venting, just really quickly. I'm not expecting you to answer, but it just really, I don't really understand that the mentality, especially from the Hispanics, or especially from the Mexicans. Because I remember, seeing I wasn't born, but I remember seeing the signs in books where they, especially like in Texas, they were like no dogs, no Mexicans, and no blacks. And I'm like, so these white wannabe white Mexicans, like your ancestors they got to be turning over in their grave. Like the very people who treated you like dogs and put you in the same category as us, now you're trying to be on their side. I don't understand that mentality. It just bewilders me. So that was just my quick rant. And I do appreciate you speaking on tangibles.
Thank you so much. And let me touch on that. Yeah, we look and see, we think because other groups, they've been marginalized by the white supremacists too, like some Hispanics, some Asians. Well, not some, all. The Asians have been smacked around for centuries by the white supremacists. And we think, okay, damn, these people have done you wrong and they've decimated your homelands. When you come here, we think that they're going to have the same mentality that we have to fight against it. But no, I want Black folks to understand. A lot of these other groups, man, let's keep it a buck. The white supremacists, they've beaten them into submission. They're saying uncle, and they have no problem being number two up under white supremacy. They ain't got no problem playing second fiddle. They ain't got no problem letting the white Anglos be white mommy and white daddy. They ain't got no problem with it. Number two is fine. Whereas that ain't it for us. As foundational Black Americans, everything we do, we always rise up to the top. We always go to number one whenever we put our minds to something. We always rise to the top. We have to be suppressed. We're never comfortable with being number two or in a subservient position. We're always, even on a subconscious level, fighting against that type of oppression because we get the brunt of it. So we often think other people think like us. You've been abused. The white supremacists, they've devastated your homeland. So naturally, you're going to want to fight against them. No. That's why when a lot of these folks come over here from South and Central America, the minute they cross the border, they go find the first right-wing white supremacist to snuggle up under. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. They've been beaten into submission, man. They ain't trying to fight no white supremacy. They're not. And we just have to accept that. They are not trying to fight white supremacy unless the white supremacy go hard on them, and then they'll temporarily come get us when the white supremacists say, hey, wait a minute, you know what, let's build that wall. And then all of a sudden, they run and go get us and say, hey, man, look at what they're doing to us people of color. You dig? That type of game. Look at what the white man is doing to... They try to play that game. And then when they get their weight up, they'll sit there and build the wall with them against their own brethren. You dig? They'll turn on their own people. If they'll turn on their own people, what you think they'll do to us? We better understand the loyalty deficiency there. We only have to be loyal to ourselves, family. We don't owe nobody nothing, and nobody feels like they owe us anything, even though they do owe us. Because we built this country and we built the wealth of this country so that they can come to it and enjoy it. So they do owe us, but they feel like, hey, we're going to be like the white people and marginalize you too. And we have to say enough is enough. We have to say enough is enough. Let's get Mr. GH. Mr. GH something. I don't know how to pronounce your name. What's up, Mr. GH? Hop on if you can. Mr. GHE. Let me give you 30 seconds. Oh, well, let's get JWD. JWD, what's up, man? Turn your microphone on. JWD. You better take your earphone off, man. You got your earplug in. Hello? Brother? How is your phone this janky, sir? I can't believe this brother's phone is this janky. All right, we'll get you back on in a minute. This brother's talking on a tin can. Let's get Stealth in here. What's up, Stealth? Stealth. We're waiting on Stealth to hop on. Stealth, hop on.
What's
man.
up, brother? I just want to say this is why we need more non-FBA people out here in LA to protect us and run for office. I know it's dangerous, but we just gonna have to step our security up and get in power so we can get behind the scenes and hear these things and actually do something about them. Until we do that, I don't know what to say. Build the wall. And what's up with all these non-FBA gangs that we have all around LA posted in killer and all this kind of stuff? Can we get some hate group things happening with them? And can we get some injunctions on all these gangs that have N-word killer when they tag us up? And I'll land there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Look, the anti-Black hatred out here, man, is from top to bottom. You know, when you're getting it from the city council members, you drive around Compton, Long Beach, and you see NK all on the wall. So this is the problem. We've been telling y'all this for the longest. Remember, on my YouTube channel, you go to my YouTube channel about a week or so ago, I had my OG homie Bride Dog from Compton talking about the politics of the streets and how that anti Black American sentiment is coming from a lot of these white supremacist Hispanics out here, even on the street level, and how heavy it is. So we've been warning people about this for a minute, man. And we're warning people to keep them safe out here so we don't walk into traps running around talking about a one-sided Black-Brown coalition. That sounds idealistic, but we just have to deal with the reality. We sat up here and empowered a bunch of people who are turning against us openly. That is a major problem. You know? Let's get a couple of more people in here because we got a lot of folks in here. I ain't gonna be on here all night. I'll be here all night chopping it up with the family. And let's get melanated. I can't pronounce your name. Melanated something. Melanated something. Hop on. All right. What's up, Dave?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. I want to shout out to FBA, FBA and B1 family out there. I'm calling out of Minnesota. I just want to big up you and your whole movement, from the movies to the music to definitely this Black and Brown coalition. Me, for one, when I first started learning about Black and Latin America, about how many Black people was down there in Latin America, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But then when you got to speaking on how the Black and Brown coalition really ain't that, or what it seems to be, living here in Minnesota, Minneapolis, you see Mexicans all over the place. You got some darker skinned Mexicans, you got more of the white Mexicans. But when it really comes to getting stuff done, just like you was preaching, they ain't really with it. They ain't with it at all unless they can get more out of it than us. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll definitely tag along.
When we start talking about reparations, they start getting hostile. They're the main ones getting hostile. Remember, we start talking about reparations, and some of these white, Hispanic, anti-Black racists, they're hostile because if the whole narrative is anything we get, they're supposed to get. They're so entitled to getting everything we get. Every single thing we get, they're supposed to get. We've sat up here and let this sense of entitlement build up to the point where the minute we start talking about getting something for us, these folks start talking about, hey, wait a minute, what kind of nonsense is that? What, we supposed to get it first? Like, what? And I blame some of our Black elected officials. We've sat here and pushed that thing way too long. That Black and Brown coalition, we pushed it too long. Let's get Global Eye Productions. What's up, Global Eye? Turn your microphone on, sir.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, what's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, Joey? Man, I just wanted to just chime in on that. Yeah, it's been a lot of that Black and Brown thing going on for a very long time. I'm glad you really going.
Okay, brother, your phone was hella janky. I don't know what kind of phones y'all got out here, man. That phone was janky. I really couldn't hear you, brother. You got to call back. Ren Fax, hop on. Ren Fax. And y'all cannot have your phone janky. If your phone janky, I just got to hang up, man. Ren Fax,
Hello?
hop on.
Hello?
What's up, Ren?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ren. Where you from, man?
Yeah, I'm in the Caribbean, Dominica. And what I want to ask you, do you see the politics in Mexico where the drug cartels, the mayor, Tawana, that it spilled over into Los Angeles?
Yeah. A lot of it spills over here and to other cities too. A lot of the stuff spills over to Chicago, New York, Texas. So a lot of the stuff that happens there, it spills over to here because of, the illegal trades and the drug trades and the gun trades and all of that stuff. So yeah, we see it.
And also, have you heard a response from like Maxine? I haven't heard anything from her. And I think that, do you think they've thrown this in at the last minute where they've got this mayoral, so they may try and switch it to this guy instead of this other woman? I forget, who is it one? This got this mayor coming up.
That I'm not sure. I got to look into it. But again, basically, they just exposed some anti-Black white Hispanics, man. And a lot of people are pretending to be shocked. And they know how the get down has been. They know what it has been for a long time. Now, you're over there in the Dominicana, right?
No, Dominica. It's in between Guadeloupe and Martinique, a small island.
Is that the one where those white supremacists tried to raid it in the 1980s?
No, that's Grenada. But what I find, I used to live in London before, and I find that even though my parents are from there, they're against foreigners. Like I'm a Black person, and I'm different. I speak different from them in the Caribbean, and it's not easy to mix with people from the Caribbean if you're not from there. You understand?
Yeah. How long did you live in London?
60 years. So
Oh,
our parents are from there. So like as I return back, they're very sort of like, oh, you're from England, you're a foreigner. And that's the mentality. So when they come to America, they bring that with them as well.
yes, indeed. But you know what? The thing is, they did try to raid Dominica. It was something called Operation Red Dog. I remember like 1981. There was a white supremacist group that they were going to take over that island because it's a small island. So they got in some boats, they got some guns. It was Don Black, the guy who has the Stormfront website, and they went over there to try to take over that island. They took a boat over there and they were going to take that island over, but it got thwarted somehow. But yeah, I remember that island. The white supremacists from America were going to try to take that over. Google Operation Red Dog. Something like that happened in Canada too, but y'all Google Operation Red Dog. They tried to take over that island, some white supremacists from over here. You know, real interesting
All right.
history. But anyway, thank you so much for the call, brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
one.
island, 1981. It was that white supremacist Don Black. Don Black he started the website Stormfront. I'm talking, these are some hardcore white supremacists. And they saw that island was not militaristically strong. So they said, let's just get a boat and go over there and take over, turn it into a white supremacist enclave. And it got thwarted somehow. You know? I think David Duke might have been involved in that too somehow. I want to say David Duke was somehow involved in that. Yeah. They created like a little. They got the Klan. It was a heavy thing at the time. That's why the white supremacist groups in the 80s, they were really trying to establish themselves because they took such an L in the 60s and 70s. I want y'all to understand, and we talk about this in my new movie American Maroon. Them white supremacists got the business in the 70s. When you had groups like the Black Panthers, the Black Liberation Army, the Mau Mau's out of Chicago, the white supremacists were getting the business. So the white supremacists had to lay real low in the 1970s. They getting their ass toe up. Y'all remember growing up in the 70s, we didn't experience too much open racism. You didn't see white boys running around yelling nigga. You didn't see all of that in the 70s and early 80s like that. You didn't see that. That whole white boys running around with that nigga, that's the 90s. That started in the 90s. You dig? But in the 70s and 80s, you didn't see that. White boys would get stomped the hell out doing that stuff. Back in the day, we were looking for somebody to run around us trying to do anything remotely related to white supremacy. We were looking for folks to try that on us back in the day. It was not popping for them. The white supremacists had to go deep underground in the 70s and early 80s. Black folks was not messing around then. Folks started getting a little softer in the late 90s. That's when we started softening up in the late 90s. But that's a whole nother topic. Let's get a couple of more people in here. We'll be in here all night. Let's get let's get Mr. O in here. Let's get Mr. O. Hop on, Mr. O. Mr. O, where are you, sir?
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now, Tariq?
There you go. What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, not much. I'm calling in straight from Chicago. I find it crazy that Chicago and LA have similar type of political powers and infrastructures that's going on right now. Yeah, the black and brown myth here in the city is going on as well. But the thing is, we was always segregated as far as the black and brown. But now, as this inflation and this how does the economy going, we are being more mixture, and now crime is getting more rampant. Now, even more, they even trying to bring up the whole hip hop argument and even the gang element here in Chicago. They trying to say that Hispanic gangs should just go ahead and take over since it's more of Hispanics here than it is black folks. And since black folks in Chicago and urban gangs, they don't want to go ahead and get together. They want to go ahead and continue the same urban street politics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, OM to now. They saying that they want to go ahead and take over that too. So I don't understand when it's time for us to band up to be together, they want to be all hands in hand. But when they want reparations or when we want reparations, we want to go ahead and continue our political excellence and even our economic excellence. It's always one they want to go ahead and try to piggyback off of us. It's like Martin Luther King and Hugo Caesar Chavez all over again. They can have their own
Yeah,
movement, but they gonna have to hijack ours to make theirs more amplified. How do you feel about that?
real talk. And right now, man, it's like a hostile takeover of our cultures. See, there's a correlation between what's going on with the political structure out here, the whole hip hop and conversation with the Fat Joes and these people running around talking about how they are the ones who created hip hop 50/50. Do you know how hostile that is? Number one, not only is it a blatant lie, but that's like, yeah, we're bogarting your culture. This is why we're not taking that stuff that's going on the East Coast with Fat Joe and those guys. We're not taking that lightly. That's them trying to bogart the culture. That's a hostile takeover. They're looking around now saying, hey, look, we Hispanics, we got a lot of large numbers out here. So now let's go for broke. So now let's pull rank. So now let's act as the colonizers against these niggers. That's what that's about. And y'all still running around here, Negroes talking about a damn black-brown coalition. And a lot of it is fear. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of niggas are scared. Y'all going around with the coalition talk because you don't want to be on the bad side of the anti-black white Hispanics. You don't want to be on their bad side. No, get that fear out your system. That fear ain't gonna help you. Let's keep it a buck. Stop being scared. Stand on truth. Do not ever be afraid to stand on truth. Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here. I've been on here for an hour. A lot of folks in here. Thank everybody for tuning in. Let me shout out some of the Hispanics who's listening. There's a lot of Hispanics listening. Shout out to you who do call out some of the racism. You need to be more amplified, and we need more people like you to call out the anti-black racism within your community, because I will give credit where credit is due. There have been some Hispanic folks out here who's been calling out some of those anti-black white Hispanic city council members. I will give you credit where credit is due. We need more of that. And y'all need to be telling us about these people from the giddy up so that we don't find out from those secret recordings. If y'all see this stuff going on, y'all say what's happening. Because let me tell you something. If Maxine Waters and Karen Bass were caught on tape saying disparaging stuff about white Hispanics, do y'all know how many reparations checks will be written to Hispanic organizations? They hit our pockets. Remember when Nick Cannon said things about the Jewish community, which he really didn't? They started hitting Nick Cannon up for money. You saw that? Nick Cannon had to donate to all types of synagogues, which is what they're going to do to Kanye next. Oh, Kanye is about to start writing some synagogue checks real soon. They start hitting your paper up. Oh, you're going to have to start writing some checks, nigga. You see? If our elected officials were saying this type of stuff about Hispanic groups or Asian groups, it would be hate crime bills flying left and right. They already got them, but there would be more. They would have hate crime bills and money allocated to all of these different groups. We need to start doing that now. Because, like I said, so many black people, especially in LA, these city council people are the ones who allocate and kind of control where a lot of resources go. And we see why there's so much resource deprivation with black people out here in Los Angeles in particular, because these people have this anti-black venom and they go out of their way to deprive our people of the resources, the dollars, the jobs, and the supervisory positions and the raises that they need in order to survive. This is why we have so many homeless black people out here. That has to stop. We have to let the city know. They have to make this right through tangibles. Y'all need to give our black people in LA tangibles because of this. We need money for our people. The California Reparations Task Force, this is definitely going to be brought up at the next meetings. I'm going to make sure that this narrative is brought up when they have the next meetings and hearings at the California Reparations Task Force. This is why we need reparations out here in California, nationwide, but California in particular in this instance. This is the reason why we cannot thrive and survive like we need to. And we got the head of the LA City Council member board talking about black children are monkeys. No, no, no. Black folks, let's get on code with this. Let's be focused with this. Let's make sure that we get those tangibles and let's get it for us. Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here, man. I thank everybody for tuning in. Y'all go get my book, man, Foundational Black American Race Beta. Available now on Amazon, or you can get it at officialfba.com, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Puppy Akute and Lola Vuve to the family. Peace.